The Federal and Devaki Specialty Hospital jointly present the Madurai Marathon 2024 Run for Health on Sunday, October 20th, 2024. Entry is free for all.
Hello viewers. Maldives President Mohamed Muizzu is in India. He has made no secret of the fact that he is in India with the hope that the Modi government would ease Maldives' financial burden. But is this the only reason that propelled Muizzu's softened stance on India? Let us understand the latest development in the India-Maldives relations from the Federal's managing editor, K.S. Dakshina Murthy, who follows international politics very closely. Hi, Dakshin.
Hi.
Dakshin, what has pushed Muizzu, a leader who won the elections in his country on an India out campaign, to come seek ties with India again?
Well, he has learned it the hard way that he can't afford to antagonize India. It's as simple as that. Yes, today the neighborhood, that is India's neighborhood in South Asia, is, it has become a kind of a bipolar region, which means that there is China and there is also India. There was a time, of course, earlier, say 2 decades ago, when it was only India that was the dominant country in South Asia. But yeah, having said that, so point here is countries around India are slowly waking up to the fact that they need to balance India and China. So Muizzu, before Muizzu, when you had Ibrahim Soli, who was the previous president, he was markedly pro-India. Okay, so he had allowed India to even help in their defense of Maldives. There were Indian defense personnel in Maldives, etc., etc. So it was, that close. So Muizzu, as the opposition candidate, contested on an anti or a pro-China and a India out or an anti-India kind of a campaign, and he won the elections. And going ahead with that, what he did was he wore it on his sleeve that he was not for India. And among the first things that he did was ask India to take the defense personnel out of Maldives. More than that itself, the way it was done, the optics was really not good at all. And you had a couple of ministers in the Maldivian government, the Muizzu government, who also spoke rather disparagingly of the Indian government, So it did not go down well, and then India retaliated, and then there was against Maldives as a tourist destination, the Indian government or social influencers exhorted Indians not to go to Maldives, instead go to Lakshadweep or anywhere else. Initially, it was thought it was more of a rhetorical response, but it actually turned out to be very effective. The tourist numbers actually fell, and Maldives was forced to go to China and request them to make up for the numbers. But then, these things can't happen like that. So there was a kind of a negative effect felt. And not only that, India also, I think, using the back channels, put pressure on Maldives and made it very clear that it would have to face repercussions if Maldives went ahead with its anti-India campaign. So all this is in the background of the visit now.
Right. So, like you said, perhaps India hit Maldives where it hurt. So, that the only reason why Muizzu's stance has changed.
Yeah. So then what then happens is, for instance, you were asking whether he's coming here just for loans or grants or whatever financially. Yeah, that might be the case, but there are a lot of other things which are not necessarily spoken out to the media. But there is a lot of conversation that happens when these visits are there, and I think some kind of in fact, a balancing is taking place even within the Maldives. In fact, the two ministers who spoke against India both have resigned, and so there is some kind of a resetting that has happened. So, not that China will not play an important role. China will, of course, play an important role in Maldives, but India will not be, treated badly or publicly in a manner that brings down India's dignity. So I think Muizzu has understood that, and in that context, you had Jaishankar visiting Maldives. Then you had Muizzu coming in for the swearing-in ceremony of Narendra Modi when he won for the third time. And now he's again come and he's engaging in a discussion with the Modi government. So these are very clearly signs that the Maldivian government wants to balance out the its own relationship between China and India.
Right. And you spoke about China. So why isn't Maldives approaching China to take financial help? Why seek India?
I mean, it's not a zero sum game in the sense that it's not that if Maldives comes to India asking for financial help, it will not go to China not asking for financial help. It can ask financial help from both countries. It's more than the money itself or the kind of a unilateral transaction. It's more to give the feeling that it is not going to marginalize India, and it's probably also going to accommodate India in Maldives. For instance, some of the reconciliatory statements, for instance, made by the Maldivian government is saying that we are not against Indian help in Maldives. It's just that we don't want serving military officials in Maldives. So now you have Indian specialists, engineers, technicians who are not with the military, but who are in Maldives and doing the same thing. So there has been some kind of a reconciliation or some kind of a midway path. It's neither fully pro nor fully anti. And also, what one clearly sees is that Maldives has accommodated Indian interest there. So this visit is actually should be seen as part of that.
Right. And let's talk about India. So how do you think India is reacting to Muizzu's latest stance?
For India, it's good because it's when a country in the neighborhood, especially something like the Maldivian government, turns around and expresses hostility or shows disrespect for India, what it immediately does is that it reflects on the strength of the Modi government to deal with such situations. So, because even within India, people are watching the government and they're also seeing how this government is going to react and how the government is going to respond to a nation which is, in the neighborhood and then, treating India this way. So, it's very important for the Modi government that it comes across as a power, as a real regional power, it can't be pushed around by something like Maldives. So for the Modi government, it is a satisfying turn of events fundamentally.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much for shedding light on India-Maldives relations, Dakshin. Thank you for your time.
The Federal and Devaki Specialty Hospital jointly present the Madurai Marathon 2024 Run for Health on Sunday, October 20th, 2024. Entry is free for all.